Hi and Assalamu alaikum. I'm Dr. Aisha Bashiruddin, an educationist, researcher, and writer. Welcome to the 15th presentation video based on my research titled I Am a Muslim Woman in America, a Narrative. In the last presentation video, I presented the analysis of theme 3 with a focus on baby boomers. Today, I am going to present the analysis of theme 3 with a focus on generation Y, which is ages between 40 and 55. Don't go away. I'll be back in a minute. If you want to know more about my research based on Muslim women identity in America, subscribe to my channel, and if you like my videos, press the bell icon. Theme 3: Challenges in Forming a Muslim Identity of Generation X. The third theme that emerged from the analysis of the data is about facing challenges in forming a Muslim identity in America. In the harsh climate of America, many of the women encountered challenges in negotiating their Muslim identity. They talked about various challenges and the ways they have responded to the challenges. Most of the women of Generation X said that life as a Muslim woman in America is very challenging. Most of the time, they face challenges in different ways and in various contexts. One of the most common challenges that they faced is their visible identity through their hijab and the way they dress up. Wahida from Jordan said, and I quote, "I was harassed in shops and in the streets while I went out for buying grocery or picking up my children from school." Unquote. Jeanette from Nigeria said, and I quote, "There was a political agenda of putting Islam and terrorism together, especially after 9/11." Unquote. Similarly, Dah from Palestine used to wear hijab and jilbab as a Muslim woman and have felt vibes of hatred and fear among people around her. She narrated, and I quote, "I taught at a private nursery, and some of the parents did not want me to work with their children because they said that Muslims are terrorists and they do not want their children to be around me, even though I have been teaching there for a long time. But after 9/11, the perceptions changed." Unquote. Another challenge that is evident from the data analysis of these women is the inherent racism in the air. Sometimes it is visible and sometimes it is discreet. For example, Sahar from Pakistan talks about her experiences of racism. She states, and I quote, "Racism is inherent, but many of her friends did not show it." Unquote. She also stated that the biggest challenge is ignorance. The general public, who are not in the center of the cities, are not used to multicultural environment in which different people are following different religions. They have very little understanding of the teachings and practice of Islam. Fahari from Ethiopia said, and I quote, "Muslims are prone to vicious stereotypes. They suffer from negative public image that associates Islam with terrorism and racism. I have been once a victim of hate." Unquote. Yasneem from Ghana also said that the people living in America are not aware of others. She states that she feels that they are ignorant. If you answer their questions, you make them understand the core value of Islam. She said, and I quote, "I do not get angry or upset. I just feel sad because they are ignorant in this age of awareness." Unquote. According to her, they only follow what the popular images of Muslims are. She is open to answer questions in the spirit of educating people about her religion. Bahari from Ethiopia said that hijab is an overt symbol of being a Muslim, which is associated with religious fundamentalism and cultural backwardness. Sada from Namibia said that she joined university at an age when her children started going to school. She reported that as a Muslim student with hijab, she experienced racism because of her pronounced religious identity. She states, and I quote, "My misconception of educational settings as safe place were questioned." Unquote. The data also reveals that Muslim women identity is constructed by others around them as passive victims of their own communities, and their hijab and loosely fitted clothes does not seem to fit in with Western liberal ideology. Arifa from Ghana said that some of her co-workers asked her for how long has she been in America and why does she still follow the backward dress. Similarly, Arifa from Ghana, as a worker in a store, dealt with public who seemed to be biased because of her hijab, and she had a sense of exclusion because of the hostility towards Islam and Muslims. Sometimes she stated that she could sense hatred in the eyes of the customers. Another challenge that they face is regarding the liberal society that they are living in. For example, Afshin from Pakistan said that the world around us is very challenging. She talked about the challenges that she and her children had in the world outside the home and masjid, especially the concept of LRBT. She has been explaining the concept to her children who are vulnerable, and she told them about the story of Hazrat Lut alayhi salam. Wahida from Jordan also said, and I quote, "I think that we as a community need to have open discussion about such issues, and our youth need to know about it." Unquote. She believes that they should be told what Islamic perspective on it is and why we as Muslims do not follow it instead of others telling them. Jeanette from Nigeria also said that she is fearful of the fact that her children are being raised in a society where there is a lot of things which are forbidden in Islam. Sada from Namibia said, and I quote, "We should be proactive in discussing issues such as having premarital relationships, drinking and clubbing within our Muslim community so that we can protect ourselves and our future generations to fall prey to them." Unquote. The majority of the women of Generation X articulated very clearly about the challenges they face because of the propaganda of Muslims in the media. Yasmin from Pakistan said that we have to be active and visible in the larger society and reach out to ordinary people. She said, and I quote, "We as a Muslim group from the masjid go out to homeless people as ambassadors of Islam and show them our love and compassion so that they know that Muslims are not terrorists as portrayed by media." Unquote. Ishal from Lebanon said that as a result of the impressions portrayed by media, Muslim women like herself in America experience prejudice, discrimination, misunderstanding, and hatred. Likewise, Arifa from Ghana said that even though Muslims have created their distinct identity by creating an Islamic community, they have built mosques and have various Islamic schools and Muslim organizations. They still face hostility and hatred. She said, and I quote, "Muslim Ummah as a community are constantly struggling to maintain their Muslim identity and perpetuating faith to the next generations who are being influenced by the society and media." Unquote. Arifa from Ghana also stated that media has been depicting Muslims in America as minority and at the fringes because of, and I quote, "of our small number, we are in minority and therefore we are not given due respect." One of my co-workers once remarked, "Oh, you are a Muslim. You are the first one that I have ever met in my life." Unquote. Wa from Palestine also commented that her friends and colleagues at school are all influenced by the powerful representations by the media about Muslims as terrorists and Muslim women as oppressed. She said, and I quote, "The hijab is represented as an obstacle to integration. I make every effort to prove myself to be a good human being, loving, caring, and responsible, and sometimes discuss that the Muslims are misrepresented in the media." Unquote. From Old Havana in Cuba stated that she experienced the effects of media's portrayal of Islamophobia. She worked in a store when 9/11 took place, and many of her co-workers talked about how Muslims are terrorists. Furthermore, many of the women also emphasized that Muslims are incompatible with the Western values. She could see that all of them were influenced by the projection of Muslims in media. Yasmin from Pakistan said, and I quote, "They only follow what is being portrayed by the media. Some of my colleagues ask me, what color is my hair? Is there hair under my hijab? Do I take off my hijab when I am showering? I know that these are stupid questions, but I try to answer them very graciously." Unquote. To sum up, all the women of Generation X think that it is important for them, as ambassadors of Islam, to educate people around them to live in a peaceful world. Thank you for joining and thank you for your comments. See you next week. Until then, goodbye and Allah Hafiz.